Time is 10:14, and I will give it over to our attorney.
Thank you. At this time, we will be doing the roll call. The members of this electoral board do include Trustee Chris Gonzalez, Trustee Darlene Gary Everett, and Clerk Loretta Wells. Trustee Gonzalez is on the phone. Trustee Gonzalez, are you here and present? Okay. Member Darlene Gary Everett? And Member Wells? Present. Okay, we do have all members present and accounted for, and at this time, because Trustee Gonzalez is away for work, we do need a motion to allow him to attend electronically.
I make a motion to allow Trustee Gonzalez to participate via phone.
So is there a second on the motion then? So we get a motion by Clerk Fowles and a second by Darlene Gray Everett. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we also need to approve the electoral board rules. Copies of the rules were presented to all the parties, and copies of the rules are available at the back table. So I do need a motion to approve the electoral board rules. Just the three of you.
I make a motion to approve the electoral board rules.
So we need a second by Member Chris Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We do have a member that's attending via phone, so we're trying to. Okay. Member Gray, speak just so that the court reporter can hear, so we can have an accurate transcript. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are going to start calling the supervisor cases, and we do have 9 cases that we need to go through. I do ask if okay, we do have some appearance forms up here. And if we need to get more copies, maybe we will. Yeah, put all of those, and then if you can get those to Kia, we'll have Kia make some additional copies. Yes, sir. Yes, that's fine. Yes, I have no problem with that. I do ask though, just so that if there's parties that are coming up.
Everybody needs a mic to speak through so the court reporter can hear you.
Hello? Okay, testing. So we're going to call the cases in order. The first case up is 25 TOEB, Supervisor 01, and that is Keith Price and Michael Smith versus Chris Clark. Is the objector here? Are the objectors here?
Right.
Okay, thank you. And is anybody here for the candidate Chris Clark?
Yes, on behalf of Chris Clark, Attorney Kevin Stern from Ancel Glink, if I could have you file my appearance.
Thank you. I do ask both parties to file their appearances with the board once they're done completing them and to exchange appearances with each other. Now, at this point, we do have to, before we get into the case, we are going to go through some preliminary matters and adopt some exhibits. The first exhibit, and these will be the same in all cases, but we have to do this with each case. First exhibit will be the nomination papers submitted by the candidate. That's Exhibit A. Exhibit B is going to be the objector's petition. Exhibit C is the call. Exhibit D are the rules. And Exhibit E will be the agenda. Just one moment. And Exhibit F will be any waivers of service that were filed in this matter. I do believe we have a waiver of service from the objectors. Okay, and candidates, you guys also submitted a waiver of service to Attorney Keri-Lyn. So those will be Exhibit F. Okay, objector, could you please tell us a little bit about this objection?
Basically, we are objecting to the fact that Mr. Christopher Clark filed as a slate and did not file the full slate that is required according to state statute. He was missing a clerk, highway commissioner, and assessor.
Okay, thank you for that summary. And Mr. Stirk, do you intend to file any sort of motion on this matter?
Yes, we intend on filing dispositive motions. We also will have a motion to consolidate with the objectors. They've objected to everybody that's pretty much on Mayor Clark's slate. So we're going to file a motion to consolidate. But I understand that the board is comprised, or it's going to be comprised of 2 different members. So maybe we'll just consolidate the trustees' cases and leave Mayor Clark's case separated.
Okay, when we get to that point, we can discuss that. But if the parties have no objection, if we do have all members of both electoral boards here at the same time at the next hearing, we could potentially consolidate it for the purposes of oral argument so that the parties don't have to state their oral argument this, again, twice. Objectors, you have something that you want to say?
Yes. As to consolidating all the cases, I do not believe that he has one trustee that has a different allegation against her, Corean Davis. I don't think that should be consolidated because it's a whole separate issue involved with that particular challenge.
If I can make a recommendation, we could consolidate them all for the purposes of the argument of the full slate item, and then as it relates to the additional objection on Ms. Corean Davis, which I believe is related to incompatible offices, we can have you guys argue that one separate. And this would just be for the case of judicial economy to keep these hearings moving and not have you guys have to do duplicative arguments. So, sure, understood, completely understood. So we will make note of that, and if we're able to get both sets of boards here at the same time for the next meeting, then we will go ahead and have all 4 board members sitting up here hearing the oral argument as it relates to the full slate requirement, unless there's an objection from the parties. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. How much time do you need, Mr. Stirk, to file your motion?
If we could have till Monday?
Yes, and just so the board knows, we will probably not be able to come back until the 7th, or I'm sorry, just so the objector and, or objectors and the candidates council know, we will not be coming back probably until the 17th. So if that, you can take that into consideration in your briefing schedule. So if the parties need a little bit more time, we won't be back here until the 17th.
Sure, Monday will be fine for us.
Okay, so your brief will be due Monday, December 9th. And Mr. Price and Mr. Smith, how much time would you like for a response?
48 hours.
Okay, so you'd like your response, and just for clarification, let's have Monday, December 9th is 5 p.m. good for the motion?
Yes.
Okay. And then the response would be due on 12/11, Wednesday, 12/11, also at 5 p.m. And Mr. Stirk, how much time would you like leave for a reply? Is 24 hours okay for a reply?
24 hours is great.
Okay, great. Okay, so the reply will be due 12/12, and then we will come back here on the 17th. Let's do 10:30 if that is okay with the board. Or actually, let's do 10 a.m. It's going to be a long day. We're going to have a lot of argument. So the briefing schedule is going to be the motion to strike and dismiss is due on 12/9. The response is due on 12/11. The reply is due on 12/12, and I was suggesting that we come back for a hearing on the motion to strike and dismiss on 12/17 at 10 a.m. If that works for the board.
Is there any way we could do it on 12/18?
My concern is that we're pushing, we're already kind of far out.
Sure. Well, we'll make 12/17 work.
Okay. Does 12/17 work for the board? Member Gonzalez, does 12/17 work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we will continue this matter to 12/17 at 10 a.m. And that works for the parties, right? I know, Mr. Stark, you said you'll figure it out. You guys will get somebody from the firm to come. And Mr. Price and Mr. Smith, that works for you as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this matter is continued until 12/17 a.m. I'm sorry, 12/17 at 10 a.m. Okay, there's nothing further to occur on this case. So we're now going to call the next case. So the next case is Nathaniel Fields, Keith Price and Michael Smith versus Nathaniel Fields. Good morning, thank you. Okay, so we will now have to go through the exhibits once again and just enter the exhibits into the record. Actually, I'm sorry, can we move back really quick and just do a quick motion to approve the exhibits for the 25 TOEB Soup 01?
Motion to approve the exhibits.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to move on to case number 25 TOEB Soup 02. And again, this is Keith Price and Michael Smith versus Nathaniel Fields. Are the objectors present?
Present.
Okay, and is the candidate present?
Present.
Thank you all. And have the parties completed appearances? Okay. Mr. Fields, have you completed an appearance yet? We do have some extras. If you want to step up and grab one. These were all included also in the objection packet that I believe was sent out. But we have extras, so if you can't find it, that's fine. Mr. Fields, do you want to just come grab one from over here?
No, I have a copy.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay, actually, so you're going to need two because you guys had exchange appearances. So if you want to grab another one so that you can complete it, so you can give it to the other side, and then we'll need one for our records.
Okay.
Thank you. And for anybody else that's sitting in the crowd, just so you know that you do have to file an appearance for every case. Your appearance has to have your email address because we serve everybody via email because these are highly expedited proceedings. You can't wait for mail to actually get there. Okay. All right, so objectors, if you could give us the nature of the objection.
The objection in relation to Mr. Fields deals with the failure to identify office sought on a statement of interest. Furthermore, Mr. Fields turned in petitions as a Democrat for a primary, then filed as an independent. And I have some issues with petitions not being bound properly, and also statement of candidacy, statement of political party affiliation being absent. So that's basically a breakdown of the objections.
Okay, my notes actually reflect that there, and maybe my notes are incorrect, but was there also an objection that the statement of economic interest receipt was not filed?
Correctly, yes.
That it wasn't filed correctly, or that it wasn't filed at
It
all?
wasn't filed
Okay. All right, let me just grab the petitions.
with the proper authorities.
Got it. Okay, so I understand the nature of the objections. Mr. Fields, will you be filing any sort of dispositive motions? Any more motion to strike and dismiss or anything?
At the moment, no. I'd like to respond. That you guys make a determination.
So today is going to be very preliminary. The board's not going to be making any decisions today.
Okay.
So that's why, so if you want time to file a motion to strike and dismiss, for instance, if you dispute what they're saying,
I do.
Then you can do it in writing, and you would still have the opportunity to argue it orally on the 17th.
Okay, on the 17th. Okay. Then I do dispute what they're saying, and I would like to argue my case on the 17th.
Okay, would you like to also file a motion to strike and dismiss, or would you like leave to file it, and if you choose not to file it, then that's fine. You don't have to file it. But if you want to file a motion to strike and dismiss, I can give you the same briefing schedule that we just entered in the
Now you just said leave. Repeat that, the second one.
So basically what I'm saying is that you're allowed to file a motion to strike and dismiss if you want.
Right. Now strike and dismiss means dismiss their objection.
Correct. Right. So
Okay.
the way that this generally works is the case gets called, and if a party disputes what is being said in the objector's petition, then the party has the opportunity to file some sort of motion to say the objector's wrong. And so that would be your opportunity to file a motion, and it's typically called a motion to strike or a motion to dismiss, or sometimes a motion to strike and dismiss.
Okay. Well, I like to file a motion to strike and dismiss, and I appreciate the explanation.
You're welcome. So the motion to strike and dismiss would then be due on December 9th at 5 p.m. A response would be due on December 11th at 5 p.m. And just, since everyone's pro se, Mr. Fields, you would be filing the motion to strike and dismiss. Your pleading would be due on December 9th at 5 p.m. The other side's response would be due on December 11th at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then if you choose to file a reply, which that's typically how it works. The movement gets the last word. The person that's making the motion generally gets the last word. So if you want to have your last word in the form of a reply, you can file that on 12/12 by 5 p.m. And then we'll come back here on 12/17 for a hearing. I'm just going to set them all at 10 a.m. because I don't know how long the hearings are all going to take. So I just encourage all the parties to be here at 10 a.m. Yes. Okay, we need to mark the exhibits really quick before we move this case along. The exhibits for this case, just like the other case, will be Exhibit A, the nomination papers, Exhibit B, the objector's petitions, Exhibit C, the call, Exhibit D, the rules, Exhibit E, the agenda, and Exhibit F, the waivers of service. And I believe, Mr. Fields, you sent in a waiver of service to the clerk?
Yeah.
Oh, and Mr. Price and Smith, you guys both sent in waivers of service, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, there being nothing further with this case, we can move on to the next case. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I apologize. A motion to approve the exhibits? Okay, so we have a motion by member Loretta Wells and a second by member Darlene Gray Everett to approve the exhibits as stated. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, calling the next case, which is Keith Price and Michael Smith versus Sidney Moore.
Good morning, Honorable Electoral Board, Honorable Board members, and attorneys. My name is Jacob Avila-Volkovsky, appearing on behalf of Attorney Frank Avila for candidate Sidney Moore.
And just for the record, real quick, actually, objectors, can you state your name real quick?
Keith Price.
Thank you. And just for the record, Mr. Avila is not an attorney, but he is appearing on behalf of his father, who is in the hospital at the time. So he just asked if I could, Mr. Avila contacted me last night via email and asked for time to file a brief. So his son is here just to, I guess, make sure that happens. He's not here in a per se representative capacity. He's just here on behalf of his dad to make sure that the process goes through. So do the parties have any objection to the briefing schedule that was set in the other cases?
I do not have a objection to the briefing schedule, although I do have an objection if Mr. Avila is not an attorney, he should not be allowed to sit, regardless of the circumstances. Under normal situations, that's not acceptable.
That's fair. We do have the candidate here. Could the candidate come sit at the table, please?
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, Mr. Moore, I understand your attorney is in the hospital, and he has requested a briefing schedule. So did the parties agree that to the briefing schedule that we set in the other cases, where the briefs would be due on December 9th for a motion to strike and dismiss, response due on December 11th, and reply on December 12th, all at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we go ahead and set that briefing schedule. We will be back here again on December 17th at 10 a.m. And we will now go ahead and enter the exhibits into the record. Exhibit A, nomination papers. Exhibit B, objector's petition. Exhibit C, the call. Exhibit D, the rules. Exhibit E, agenda. And Exhibit F, the waivers of service. Mr. Moore, do you know if your attorney, Mr. Avila, do you know whether he sent in a waiver of service?
No.
Okay, if you could speak, or sorry, if you could please send me a waiver of service when he has a moment, we can add that to the file. But you in fact were served, Mr. Moore, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we do have service and the party is present. That's the purpose, is just to make sure that everyone's here. All right, so we need a motion to approve the exhibits.
I make a motion to approve the exhibits.
Second.
We have a motion by member Loretta Wells and a second by member and chair Chris Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. So this matter will be continued until December 17th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. You're correct. Oh, yes. Not having the attorney here just kind of threw me a little bit. Mr. Price, could you please very quickly state the nature of your objection?
In the case with Mr. Moore, we have multiple filings of nomination papers, which is prohibited. We have circulation restrictions that were violated, dealing with a circulator may not circulate petitions for an established party and an independent or new party candidate. That can be found in 10 ILCS 5/10-4. We also have attachments, I believe in Mr. Moore's case, of 160 pages where he was the circulator. And that's basically a breakdown of everything that the objections cover.
Thank you for that summary. Okay, there being nothing further as it relates to this objection, we will continue this, or I'm sorry, Mr.
Yeah,
Welch,
excuse
you
me.
want to make a statement?
Yeah, I just want to say that the attorney is asking, can he change the time of the appearance on the 17th, a little later in the afternoon? Instead of 10 o'clock, a little later than that?
Like what time are you, we can push it towards the end of the supervisor call, but we got to keep these cases moving. So what we could do is, the first case is going to be called at 10 a.m. There's going to be argument on that first case. So you've got 3 cases already before this case, or 2 cases already before this case. So what we could do is we could push this to the end of the supervisor call, so it'll come after, but I can't give an exact time. I would say probably maybe 11:30. But we're gonna set it for 10 a.m. But just have Mr. Avila communicate with me what time he's going to be here, and we'll make it work. But I do want to keep the supervisor cases grouped together, and then the town trustee cases grouped together, with the caveat, of course, that we do have a motion to consolidate on some other cases that are going to have some cases already, some of them to be already together.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the next case we are calling is DeMarcus Krigley versus Stafford Owens.
Good morning, all of the board.
Good morning, thank you. I will. One second, we'll see the doctor. Okay, Mr. Krigley, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is DeMarcus Krigley, DeMarcusCrigley.
And you are the objector, correct?
I am the objector. Matt Solomon will be the attorney on this one.
Okay, and he's not here today, but is he filing an appearance?
He will be filing an appearance.
Okay. And candidate, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Stafford Owens, STAFFORDOWENS.
Okay, thank you both. Mr. Krigley, can you please briefly state the nature of your objection?
Yes, failure to identify office sought on statement of economic interest.
Okay. And Mr. Owens, would you like to file any sort of dispositive motion, a motion to strike and dismiss, or something of that nature?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and set it for the same briefing schedule that was read into the record earlier. I will go over the briefing schedule. Your motion to strike and dismiss, Mr. Owens, will be due on December 9th at 5 p.m. Mr. Krigley, you or your attorney's response will be due on December 11th at 5 p.m. Any reply from you, Mr. Owens, would be due on December 12th at 5 p.m. And then we'll come back here on December 17th. Technically, we're going to notice it for 10 a.m., but again, there's going to be some hearings before you, so.
I've been paying attention.
Okay, great, thank you. Do you guys have any other questions before I go through the exhibits?
No.
Okay, have the parties filed or written out appearances?
I'll file my appearance in the second hearing.
Okay, and have your attorney send us a copy of his appearance? And then Mr. Owens, we need you to file an appearance as well because we need everyone's email addresses and ways to contact you. So do you have appearances?
No, I haven't, but I
I received all my information through email from Ms. Wells.
Correct, but for the sake of, for a complete record, we require all parties to file appearances, so you can fill out this document that you're going to receive, fill out 2 copies of it, give one to your opponent, and then you need to give one to the board, please.
Okay. Also, where will we be, the attorney will be sending his appearance to? What, his
To me,
email address?
to me.
Okay, can I have your email address?
Absolutely. He has it, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Just for the record, in case anyone needs it, that's, party to these proceedings. My email address is Jaworski, JAWORSKI @dlglawgroup.com. And if you can also copy my associate on that, it's my associate to the left here. Her name is Hannah Auten, AUTEN @dlglawgroup.com. Pardon me one moment. Okay, my apologies. Okay, so we've set a briefing schedule. Now we're going to go through the exhibits, just like we did for the last one. I'll wait for Madam Clerk to return. Okay, so at this time I'm going to